You've extensively discussed the general excitement and chatter of the MCU dwindling over the past 4 years. However, how much do you feel like that's partly because of a lot of the target audience of the Infinity Saga aged out of what Marvel Studios delivers at Endgame or towards the start of Phase 4? I don't feel like there's enough attention brought to this idea. Well, so the MCU is now over 15 years old. So some of the core audience, MCU target age range, were born when Iron Man came out. And you played out, if you were the target age range when Iron Man came out, high school, 15, you're now 30. You're in your 30s. So when you stop and think about it in those terms, you have an audience that there's a shifting of who is the movie being made for. And I don't think it's that you age out. I am 43 and I am the target audience. I was the target audience in 2008. I was in the target audience in 2012. I was the target audience in 2019. I'm the target audience now. I was in my mid-30s when Phase 3 was happening and rode to having the career that I have with excitement. And that's not just because I'm extremely immature and never grew up and I'm just constantly reliving my high school days. It's not just that. It's also that these are movies that are made to be broadly accessible. True 4-quadrant movies. They are aiming to make films that young and old people like as well. Young and old people like as well as men and women. They're very broadly accessible. That's why they're budgeted the way they're budgeted. They're designed so that everyone will like them. And to make $1 billion, you have to have a 4-quadrant movie. You have to have something that everyone can enjoy. And that's what these movies are. So I don't think you can say that they're aging out. Simple as that. It's not that, because it's not that the movies only play for 18-year-olds. And then you get into your 20s and you're like, oh, really? I don't know. I was in my 20s when Iron Man came out. But you're trying to figure out who's your primary people you're trying to attract. And the longer you go along, you get into this tricky situation of, are you trying to appeal to the 30-year-old audience that were in their prime when it started? Are you in the mid-20 audience who were in their prime during that Phase 3? Are you aiming for me? Like, who are the primary people you're going for? And how much do you try to aim lower to get the new fans? To have on-ramps so that you can get, like, my kids invested in it? And so you get into this situation if you go, how do we navigate this? We have a built-in audience. Do we deliver what our built-in audience wants? Or do we try and create something for new people to get on board with? Now, interpret some of the criticisms that I've even thrown at Marvel over the last several years of them kind of doing some of these TV shows that are a little bit more niche that I'm like, I've been watching since 2008 and Agatha isn't for me. I didn't sign up for Singing Witches. I signed up for a guy in a robot suit battling terrorists. And a man with a shield throwing it, and ScarJo flipping around with her legs and throwing guys on the ground and flipping her hair. Like, that's what I signed up for, not for Singing Witches. But Singing Witches might be the on-ramp for a whole bunch of current teenage girls or whoever might be into that. Miss Marvel is intentionally going for a young audience that you get new people to show up. But that's the tricky part. You create something that's designed to be a new on-ramp for a new audience. But then your established audience goes, I don't know, visual onomatopoeia in the MCU, like words on the screen and everything like that, Miss Marvel, I don't know about that. This is too kiddie. I don't know about Singing Witches. That's not what I'm into. And so you create a fragmented audience as you try and make stuff for me that's been around since day one, and you got to respect that, but you also go, you have to have a franchise that has longevity, so you have to bring new people in. And like me, I can track along with whatever movie you put out, no matter how many references you have to a zillion things, because it's literally my job. And this is like my thing. But for average Joes that don't watch everything and they haven't seen The Incredible Hulk for a long time? How do you make products that are exciting, tying it together, but are not alienating to new people? Like, how do you balance all of that? I don't know. So I wouldn't phrase it the way you phrased it. I don't think it's aging out, because my mom goes and watches Marvel movies. My mom turned 70 last month, 70 years old, and she goes to see all the Marvel movies. And, you know, whenever she babysits the kids, she'll watch Guardians of the Galaxy. She's watching Mandalorian with my son because she didn't have Disney Plus. These are designed so that everybody can enjoy them. It's not aging out. But how do you make something that's an on-ramp, that brings in new people, that satisfies old people? That's, I think, where it's a little bit more complicated. Apparently, 42% of Captain America's audience was 35 plus. Seems like the MCU is really losing its younger audience, probably because there's too much homework at this point. What do you think? So, anecdotally speaking, I'm rewatching the Captain America movies. As I do, new movie coming out, ranking coming in a day or two. And, hey, Liam, do you want to watch Captain America? Absolutely, I do. Hey, Liam, do you want to watch Winter Soldier? Absolutely, I do. He falls asleep. Can we watch it, finish it the next day? Absolutely. Civil War, do you want to watch it? Absolutely, I do. Want to go see the new movie? Maybe. That's anecdotally my son's reaction to the film. He was very interested in watching movies at home, and he was not that interested in seeing the new one in the theater. Why exactly? He didn't really articulate it or anything like that. But I mean, I think there is kind of this sense that the things that they've done to try and win new fans, I don't think have really worked. They haven't worked with my kids, at least. I tried to get Chloe to watch Agatha, and she wasn't into it at all. And Singing Witch Show, she would be the one that would be into Singing Witch Show. Wasn't into the Singing Witch Show. And I think the homework thing probably, I put out a video on what do you need to watch before seeing the film. And it's like, you got Incredible Hulk, you got to see Eternals, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, of course, all the Captain America movies. There's also ties to Black Widow. And you go, oh, that's a lot of things you need to watch. I didn't feel like this movie felt like it was homework. I felt like the movie worked if you hadn't seen all of that stuff. But then I saw a lot of comments. Hey, I went with my friends to go see it, and they hated it because they were lost. They didn't know what was going on. Like, what is this thing popping out of the ground? Like, they don't remember Incredible Hulk. And so I think there absolutely could be some reality to the fact that you reach a certain point in time and the weight of the whole thing causes it to implode on itself. That, like, 22 movies with Endgame, that's a lot, but you were getting 1-2 per year, and you're watching it all along the way. They were all within a certain amount of time. And now enough time has passed even beyond that it just feels like there's so much more to watch. It's like, hey, now you got to watch this movie that came out in 2008 before you were born. Now watch that Hulk movie, and they have to watch this one. And yeah, I mean, I think at a certain point in time, it just crumbles in on itself. Most of these clips are pulled from my Patreon live streams. I do about 6 live streams every single month. For $2 per month, $20 per year, you can get access to all the exclusive videos and live streams. For $5 per month, you get your name on my end card. At the top tier, you get a 30-minute video chat with me each month. The link down below in the description has more information.